let's have a go. All right, now it's going to be a chicken one, and you'll see just by how tenderly I handle it that it's different than the kind of, slop up the burger and get on with it. This one is a tender burger now, and I call it an ultra burger. Now, I'm putting in a little bit more oil than normal here because you really don't want this to stick. This is a non-stick pan, but I want to be able to show you how you can be able to handle it so that it doesn't break up on you. Here then, this actually works out to be about an 8-ounce burger, but only about 4 ounces of that are the chicken itself. Now, hear the little bit of a sizzle. That's on medium-low, so it's just underneath that. And I've done one so that it looks like a burger. And this one, if you just roll it on, just roll it on. This is called a rissole. And just pop that in as well. Now, you start relatively low down on the heat level, and just give it just a little bit of a toss and just move it so that you know that it is going to move. Okay, there. Just lift it up so that you've just got a little bit of the air running underneath it, and just give it a little shake, and it should, you should not come close. Good. And just move that apart. That'll be fine. Now, when it's got to that level, now you can move that up in terms a little bit faster in order to get it to sort of cook through. Okay, and since it's chicken, it needs to go through 140 degrees, must get past 140, really to 160 would be nice. If you've got one of those little thermometer things. Doesn't really matter, don't worry about it, just so long as it's cooked right through. Here is a chicken. Now, if you buy a chicken like this one, about a 3.5-pound chicken, and then bone it out and save yourself the trouble of boning the drumstick. You can just cut the drumstick off, wrap it up, and freeze it for next time when you have drumsticks. Then you've got it down, you've got over 16 ounces of meat, which means, really that you've got about a third less expense if you just take a few moments to actually bone it out. You'll cut it down by a third. That's a lot of money to save. All right. Now, I'm going to take a piece of this, that's the breast of that, and one of the thigh, that's the thigh, completely boned out, and put that other one away, for another occasion, or you can double up on the whole thing and actually make it for 4. And but in this case, I want to put the breast and the thigh together and just pass a knife blade through it in order to be able to have a mix of the breast of chicken as well as the thigh. See, the thigh, because it actually does a lot more work. If you think of a chicken sort of running around like this, the thigh meat has a lot more activity than the breast meat does. And because of that, it builds up a kind of collagen in it. And collagen is a sinewy combination which gives you that marvelous rich kind of feeling instead of the breast, which can dry out rather a lot. So you put the two together and just stick it in a food processor or keep chopping. I mean, if you don't have a food processor, you can do it. Just take a sharp knife and just keep chopping it together and it'll actually work. But this goes really quite quickly. So if you dial it, in this unit of mine, it's on 7, and I pulse it so that I give it about 12 pulses, that 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and I can see it. And it's an amazing thing how it takes the sinews, breaks them up, moves it in with the breast, and the whole thing becomes lovely and round and delicious. Okay, now just pop that into a bowl where I've got half a cup full of brown rice. Now, if you don't want to go to the trouble of making the brown rice, then please just, go ahead and make it white, sticky rice, whatever. I don't want to give you a whole problem. But if you're into brown rice, which is marvelous, has a nutty sort of feel to it, then do try that, all right? Now, see how that went over there like that? And now, pull that back together again. It's going to be loose as you turn it, but it's also extremely tender when you serve it. Okay, around there, and just roll that over. See, the rissole shape is when you're not serving it in a bun, and the round shape here is when you are going to serve that in a bun. Okay, good. Now, that's just still cooking through. This is mixed up. And now, back into this little machine again. And into the machine, just 1/2, let me just get rid of this. you notice they always have a separate board. It's a simple thing, but if you go into a lot of trouble to get rid of, discomfort, it's a very good idea not to sort of add to the discomfort by having a tummy ache. And sometimes if you don't watch it, with a knife and everything else, you can have bits of chicken lying around and clean it off, and you can be sure that you'll get rid of any potential problem. All right. Just a little onion in there first, and just whiz the onion round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's enough just to break the onion up. Then take a tablespoonful of that Dijon mustard. That's mustard with a little bit of wine juice added to it. It's lovely. That really is good stuff. And a tablespoonful of parsley stalks, very important. And 2 tablespoonsful of parsley stalks and 2 tablespoonsful of parsley. All right? I mean, I want to try to make it as simple as I could. That's right. Okay. And then put the lid on the top and then just mix those two together so that the thing is completely whizzed up. If you go too much on this, you'll make it too wet, and that's something of the problem that you'll have when it starts to hold together. Okay. Then, all you need to do then is just to combine the chicken and the seasoning. Now, can you see the idea of the springboarding on this one? There might be things that you would do slightly differently, but so long as you follow this technique, you're going to have the quickest, freshest, lowest fat, greatest flavor hamburger you've had in a long time. Well, it won't be a hamburger. I call it an ultra burger. Okay, good. A little freshly ground pepper in there, just into the top, and just a touch of salt. About 1/4 teaspoon for each, actually. We'll do it just fine for the two. Great. All right. Now, when this is done and you're just about ready to serve it, there are a number of things that you need to do first of all, rather quickly. The first one is to get this burger out of here, and what you do is you serve that up, on the bun in the typical way in which you would do that. All right, just slide it out there. Big one, you see. Now this one here, I'd like to put on one side because I want to show you that one a little bit later. And then take from the pan, just get a cloth and just a paper towel and just soak up the extra fat that I put in at the beginning to save it. Okay, so now it's gone. And then take 1/4 cupful of dealkalized wine. This is the dealkalized one, the one that's had the alcohol removed by cold fermentation so that you don't actually ruin the wine. And then with a flat-ended spurtle, and the reason for the flat end, of course, is that you can get any residue on the bottom of the pan up and into there. Just take that and just drain that through. Now, you've lost absolutely nothing in terms of the total flavor that you've come off the pan. All right. Now, this is exciting. You then take 1/4 cup of strained yogurt. And we've done so much of this strained yogurt thing, And if you just join me, I have a book, and you'll find it in the book. All right. And then you take this reduction here, which has come from the pan, and you pour a little of that onto the top. Now, that's wine. And you just stir that in together, and then add to that. You see, it'll look lumpy, but don't worry. If you keep stirring it, it'll just do fine. And then you stir into that a couple of teaspoonfuls of horseradish. If you like horseradish, that has that magnificent bite to it. So just a couple of teaspoonfuls of horseradish there, and it does the most sensational job as a sauce that goes over the top of this hamburger. So then I would place a little of that on there first of all, just a good dollop of it. Get a lovely slice of tomato and just rest that on the top there. Get a marvelous piece of greenery on the side. Where's the rest of the bun? And just place the rest of the bun just like that. Little freshly ground pepper over the top of the plate. Looks great. Ready for it? Okay, let's have a look at the numbers. Power off. Here we go. There. Now, there is a little burger. And we've springboarded. You see, that would be so good for somebody who's really got to sort of watch it a little bit in the family, or if you've decided that you're well and don't want to get sick, this is just the job. I've compared this to a classic hamburger. That's a fast food hamburger, and without any French fries. And I come up with 354 calories as against 709. And 43 grams of fat. My God, you know, that's 2/3 of what I need, not Trina, but I need for the whole day. So that's down to 8. Saturated fat is down to 2 from 14. Percentage of calories from fat from 54 goes all the way down to 20%. That's great stuff. Cholesterol is only 64, as distinct from 110. And the sodium is 532. And dietary fiber is 5. I love it when I see that fiber going up. And that's because we put in the rice into that. Okay, now, why not? So then, as you see, you've got a wonderful... Now, I've always wondered what the green leaf was for. No, no. Oh, that's bang on. It really is neat.